This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cageside Press, and I am here with LFA strawweight contender Vanessa Little Monster Demopoulos ahead of her recently announced fight with Catherine Poprocki on August 27th at LFA 114. So, Vanessa, very exciting news. I know you've been waiting for a fight for a while. Talk to me about how this all came together. Like, when did you get the call that it's happening? How long have you known about it?
I'm so excited to be able to fight again. Oh my goodness. I just got the call like last week, and not even like probably at the beginning of this week. It's Friday today as we're talking, and I got the call on like I think it was like Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and I mean instantly I was like, yes. I was like, wait a minute, let me look this person up. Just because like I've been training and I've been ready to like fight. I've been wanting to fight for a long, long time now. So like I'm really excited.
Let's talk about that a bit because, on the docket, you had a couple of jiu-jitsu events scheduled, and you're obviously looking to stay active. If you can't get in the cage, you want to do some type of competition, grappling. How, I guess, what would you say your training was like? Because obviously you work your MMA all the time, but it's different when they say, hey, we got somebody, we got a date and everything.
Yeah, it is a little bit different. But I guess like for me emotionally, I was staying engaged with MMA. So I have the EBI coming up, which is the big Medusa, and that's going to be happening in Cancun on October 2nd. So it was either going to be that or I was going to compete in the Worlds for Jiu-Jitsu before the Medusa came about. And it's like all of these things, like for me, I like being busy. I love fighting. I love competing. And I like winning. So to get the opportunity to fight MMA, I was already training and everything in MMA. When I do jiu-jitsu tournaments, I don't stop training MMA. I just add more jiu-jitsu on top of it. So I'm very healthy and I train a lot. I just add more.
Now, talking about it, you obviously made a very big move. You went from, so you're originally from Cleveland. You've been doing the Los Angeles thing, and you're at Black House and Saxons and everything. And now, Phoenix, Arizona, you're at Fight Ready and Siege MMA with trainer Santos. Just talk to me a little bit about how that move came together, because obviously that's a big one. You were obviously very established with your team before.
Yeah, I was very established, and I miss Los Angeles. Like I miss like my LA family. I miss my LA team.
You missed the
Having
LA
a big,
reporters.
I miss the LA reporters.
Uh,
uh, yeah, it's
mhm.
like I mean, LA was a whole vibe, and I loved it out there. But it was definitely time for me to move on. And I have known about Santino for a very long time. I had been out here to Fight Ready several different times and to Siege. Even during the pandemic, I came out here because Phoenix is one of the first places to really open up nationally. So this is where like I landed. So I spent a lot of time around them prior to making that decision to come by. But then obviously when you move, it's very different. Like I completely uprooted everything. But honestly, like fighting is my whole life and it's everything that I do. So to make a move like that, it wasn't difficult for me because I literally just trained all day like I usually do. It was just in a different environment. And like I don't know, when you train, like when you're like around people all day, like that's family, that's vibes, like you guys are bleeding together, sweating together, like going through all the struggles together. And it's like you get really close really quick. So I've been really blessed, I guess. I don't know how other gyms are, but at Fight Ready and at Siege, like they've really taken me in as family. And I couldn't be more grateful for that.
Talking about that a bit, just when you're with the new coach and everything, things change a little bit. Obviously, you're still training MMA, but what is something you could explain that's just different that you're getting right now that you didn't before?
Okay, so before when I was in Los Angeles, I had to go to like six different gyms to get everything. Like I was at a separate gym for my Muay Thai, separate gym for wrestling, separate gym for my jiu-jitsu, separate gym for my boxing. Like I was literally all over Los Angeles and Orange County, which is a very like vast area. Where here, I all of the coaches are at all of the training sessions. It's amazing. It's something I've never gotten to experience before. Like today, we had sparring, right? Like the wrestling coach was there, the boxing coach was there, the Muay Thai coach was there, the jiu-jitsu coach was there, the strength and conditioning coach was there, and all of your teammates. Like everyone is there at the same time, and they're there every single day. Everyone is there every day. So there's no confusion of like, is she training this sport? Is she doing this? Is she doing enough of that? Everybody sees you. So it really is a team family atmosphere, which like I had those team family atmospheres in Los Angeles, but they were all separate teams and separate families, which I love. But yeah, here it's very consolidated and it's very niche focused to MMA because all the coaches see you all the time.
Now, can you talk a little bit about some of the bodies that you're working with? You obviously posted a bit, and we see, you names like Tracy Cortez that you're working with, and some of the others around Phoenix that we know are based in Arizona. Who are some of the fighters we might recognize that you're seeing now in camp?
Yeah, I'd love to give you all those details, but honestly, if you see them at Fight Ready, if you see them at Siege, I'm training with them. So do your homework on that one. I
All
can't
of
give out
them.
details. But
Okay.
yeah, like we all train together all the time, and it's really amazing to be on the mats with such high level people. You know, most of them are in the UFC that we train with over at Fight Ready and over at Siege. It's kind of awesome actually. I'm really blessed.
And now, talking about working with Coach Santino, just how would you say, how would you describe him as a coach and the way that he kind of gears his work with you compared to what you've experienced in the past? Because, like you said, you're around a bunch. I'm assuming it's a different vibe when you have one person really directing the ship.
I guess cerebral is like a really good description of Santino. Training underneath him is uh the guy's fought in everything. You know, like he's fought MMA, he's fought K1, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And you're just not getting past him when it comes to absolutely anything. He's got a super aggressive mindset, but he's also very calculated. Like, honestly, I'm like, wow, like how, like, thank goodness you don't fight MMA anymore because, like, you would just, like, blow everybody out of the water. Like, he's so good at what he does. He's so good at understanding, just, like, fight knowledge, man. Because it's like, fighting isn't just going out there and being aggressive. Fighting isn't just like, oh, I can punch you in the face more times than you can punch me. It's really systematic, you know, and that's the type of things that Santino truly understands, you know, like he's just completely changed so much of my game and mindset when it comes to fighting. And it's like things that I had always tried to incorporate and adapt, but like just to get it from a coach who gets it and has done all of the things, I couldn't be happier to be here.
Sounds like you got everything that you need, in one spot. And I know, obviously, with efficiency and just a lot of energy that's expend, I know that helps out a lot of fighters. We hear about everybody. The days of traveling around are pretty much extinct unless you really have to. So it sounds like you have a more centralized base. Can we talk a little bit? Because one of the things I think a lot of fans notice is that your public persona has really taken quite a few strides. So you've been very vocal about, you have a very, I'll call it eclectic job history that, you are very proud of. You don't make a secret about it. However, lately, it just feels like you are really centralizing it. I feel like you're just, how do I put it, a more mature Vanessa Demopoulos? Is that a fair way to say it?
I like that. I
Talk,
like the way that you're saying that.
talk to
Yeah.
me a little bit about just, obviously just the way that you're really putting yourself out there, because I feel like there's almost been like a bit of a rebrand and a facelift for the little monster. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely true. So, a lot of like my, I guess like how I'm voicing what it is that I've done has changed. You know, like yes, I'm a stripper. Like it's public knowledge. I've never been quiet about it, and I don't think I ever will be because that's always been like a part of me, and it's how I have like become so good at other areas of my life. You know, like success carries. There's a blueprint to success, and I'm extremely successful as an entertainer. Um, but I think it's become more important to me, that I put out the best version for fans, especially the little miniature people, to start to follow. Because as I start to grow in my career, there's miniature eyes that are watching me, and I love them so much. And there's a reason why I wrote the book Stripper Bible, which is to help girls in the industry do their job without compromising their morals and values, which is awesome. But I also don't want to encourage the industry to, like, the little people up and coming who are looking up to me and they're like, yo, I want to be like Little Monster when I grow up. And it's like, yes, like, go get it, be amazing, be positive, be awesome. And then they're like, well, she's a stripper, I'm gonna go be a stripper. And it's like, well, if that's what you choose to do, like, I'll help you. But like, I don't want to encourage that onto the younger generation that might be watching me. And not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just I'm trying to be more careful of, like, those types of things. I do put those things into consideration because I do love my fans so much. I give so much attention to my media and, to my fans in general. Like, I made my website now and I'm giving out stickers to people and just, like, doing all these things. Like, I love my fans. So that's what's really most important to me as I move forward. And especially when it comes to my image, like, yeah, I'm always going to own it. Like, I'm a stripper, but that's why I've kind of, like, rebranded, if you will.
To talk about that a bit, I did see that, you have fans requesting, posters and things like that now, which is really awesome. Your website, just launched. Very cool. There is the new Little Monster logo. There is merch. There is news. It seems like a very cool one-stop shop. How important was it to have that, and just how do you feel about having it the way it's set up? Obviously, anyone who's built a website knows you don't just throw a couple words and it looks, fantastic. It takes a minute. What are your thoughts on just how it's all come together and what you have now?
First off, I did not do this all by myself. I have a super amazing team of people. Huge shout out to Ricky Ricardo, who's really built that site and thrown it together. But also, like, marketing is something that I've, like, low-key studied for many, many years, and I've always dreamt of doing something like this. So it's like, I didn't have any fights coming up for a while, and that was the time that I was taking to kind of, like, really think about it. Like, okay, like, I want to start doing more things like this. Also, I'm now with Iridium, and they're very big on doing different sponsorships and doing things like that. So for myself, I'm like, as a brand, I've always dreamt of being a company. I've always dreamt of being a brand. Like, since I was a little girl, I didn't know what that would look like. But hey, I'm a fighter now. Let's do this shit. Like, I found something that I love. I found something I'm so passionate about. I'm so good at it. Like, this is the time, So I'm really looking forward to everything that we've done with the website, and looking forward to the things that are to come that haven't even been posted yet. But thank you. I love my website so much.
It's very cool. It's got a lot of fun stuff going on. So fans who are, littlemonster.com or Little Monster Demo, is it?
littlemonsterdemo.com.
littlemonsterdemo.com. All right, there we go. So littlemonsterdemo.com, merch, news, pictures, all that stuff. Let's talk some business. Catherine Paprocki. So you've had 4 days to learn about her. What have you learned?
I've learned that she's, like, really aggressive. So she's, she's a gamer. She's, like, she likes to make things into a dog fight, and she's tough. I don't know if I've ever not fought a tough person, so, like, things like that don't really, like, intimidate me or get into my head. But obviously, like, she's 3-1, so she does need to be respected. She's earned that. But yeah, so that's, like, what I know about her. She likes to fight. That's dope. Let's go. She's willing to step up on a short notice. So any person who's willing to step up on a short notice fight with someone like me, obviously she thinks that she's got something to bring to the table. And I'm willing to bring what I got to the table. So let's eat.
We've talked about this a bit. Obviously, you're 2019, so you're just 2020, really. Quite the year, obviously, inaugural title, Contender Series, all that stuff. You're coming off a great finish of Cynthia Arceo. Do you feel like this is, Do you feel like Dana White and the powers that be at the UFC are watching coming up on the 27th? What do you think?
I mean, have they ever not been watching me?
This is a good point. I'm sorry.
Dana
That was
White
a
knows my
stupid.
name.
That was
You
a
know,
stupid question. My bad.
when and I say that because when my opponent that I fought for Dana White Contender Series fought in the UFC, Dana White was doing the "if you didn't know, now you know," and he was talking about Corey, and he was like, she fought the very tough Vanessa Demopoulos. Like, Dana White knows who I am because of my like continued efforts in the sport. Like I said, I've never not fought a tough opponent. I've never not taken the fights on even short notices. In 2020, I took 3 fights in 3 months. 2 of them were title fights. 1 of them was Dana White's Contender Series for the UFC. All of those fights went basically the distance, including the Sam Hughes fight that I finished. It went to the 4th round. Like, are you kidding me? Like, there is no other fighter out there who's willing to do the things that I'm willing to do. There's fighters that are willing to do it, but I've actually done it. You know, where like I'm taking these short notice fights. I'm taking these huge opportunities, these crazy opponents, like these unheard of circumstances. I'm doing it. So this isn't something new to me to take a short notice fight. I've just actually been having time to prepare because I've been training the whole time versus coming off of like 17 different injuries and saying like, I got this, let's go. So that's like a big difference right now. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Those are my favorite moments, to be quite honest with you. To ask you, Vanessa, we're friends for fans who, haven't figured it out for some reason. So I feel comfortable saying this. You've got a loaded schedule after. Sometimes there's a bit of blood in your fights. Are you sure there's some blood?
Oh,
yeah, things get a little wild. Yeah. Are you sure you're going to be able to make it to all your stuff, the EBI and everything after this fight? Because last time, I know you're Wolverine, but last time there were a few stitches. Well, 2 times ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even with those 2 stitches, boom, we healed right away. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, the last time that when I fought Lupita, I actually had an EBI fight like very close after that, and I went to Eddie Bravo's gym and talked to him and showed him like, listen, I don't think it's probably smart that I compete right now. So, if that happens to be the case, it is what it is. But that's just not going to be the case, Yeah, that's just not going to be the case, man. Wars like that happen, but that was a fucking war, dude. That was 5 rounds of a fucking war. Like, the whole fight from beginning to end. We both walked out that thing with stitches, Like, and Loopy and I were friends now. Like,
I saw. She's always shouting you out.
We talk all the time on IG. Like, once you go through a war like that with somebody, like, yeah, she's cool.
Well, Vanessa, I'm looking forward to this one. I think a lot of fans who know what you bring know that they got to tune in. Once again, that's LFA 114, August 27th. Vanessa Demopoulos taking on Catherine Poprocki. I believe you guys should be the co-main event if I'm not mistaken. They haven't really announced too much stuff for the undercard yet, so I'm assuming you're going to see you very close to the end of the night. So for fans watching, don't miss it. You're going to enjoy the show. And once again, Vanessa, thank you always for the time.